The idea that all priesthood jurisdictions, whether on earth or throughout the universe, are bounded spatially can be codified into a general principle, the local principle. Put another way, all things are local. When the scriptures and the revelations talk about priesthood office or calling or ecclesiastical organization, the context is always a local one. Edward Partridge's authority as a bishop, for example, extended only within the bounded and local sphere of his calling. Bishop Partridge had no authority anywhere on earth, let alone in the universe, outside his specified jurisdiction. This may seem obvious, but it is extremely important. The Church, both its leadership and membership, violates this simple principle in many important ways. The principle applies to more than just priesthood organization. The local principle applies to the revelations and doctrines as well. The Book of Moses records that the great prophet was taken up to an exceedingly high mountain, where God spoke to him face to face. God showed Moses some of his works, but not all, because they are without number. The reason that God did not show Moses all his creations was not because it was impossible. He could have done so, but then Moses would no longer be able to remain in the flesh. But God had a work for Moses to do, which required the prophet to remain in mortality. Moses' work, or priesthood assignment as we might call it today, was spatially limited. It had a jurisdiction, which the Lord immediately defined for the prophet. God informed Moses he was in the world. The world was to be his priesthood jurisdiction. God then showed the prophet his jurisdiction. In a subsequent conversation with God, Moses was again shown the earth and its inhabitants. God reiterated the limits to what he would reveal to Moses, confining any revelation to this earth. The curious fact is that God informs Moses that there have been worlds and atoms without number. The gospel plan as we know it has been repeated infinitely. Notwithstanding the infinite nature of the plan of salvation, Moses was confined to this earth. God made it clear that he would restrict specific information to this earth and its inhabitants. Indeed, the creation account given to Moses, which he wrote down, pertains to this heaven and this earth and to nothing else. The salient point is that the creation accounts recorded by Moses in Genesis and in the Book of Moses pertain to this earth and its planetary relations, and not to the universe at large. The accounts are local.